What's going on, everybody? Here with Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time for segment 2. And we promise this will be something that you very, very rarely will hear from us.
Yeah, exactly.
But we like to be transparent. We like to be completely honest. We like to share with people what exactly we're doing. And admittedly, this might be an ill-advised move, but you gotta do one of those every once in a while when you start seeing what I'm seeing on this particular type of property.
Yeah, this is an opportunity we're going to go through that is something that was very common 2015 to 2018.
Sure.
This is something we're about to talk about that has made lots of people lots of money. This is something, frankly, that Grant Cardone does, just with more zeros. Right.
Yep.
This is how he cut his teeth. This is how he's built $1 billion portfolio. What we're going to go through. It is probably not where a brand new investor would start because you can easily tie yourself in. Yeah, a very painful mistake. But that said, when you gain experience, it's always about finding the best opportunity. And I think you have found one that is, maybe day one, not the best opportunity, but it's not about day one. It might be about day 300. And when I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, that's an awesome deal.
Yeah. So what Mike and I are talking about is value-added investing on multifamily. And we're not talking about the massive stuff, the Grant Cardone stuff or the Ken McElroy stuff, because we know to stay in our lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we like to talk about value investing. That's what we're really talking about on this particular deal. And so really this deal is a sixplex. Went and looked at it last night. If you guys took the time to watch the amazing content that Mike and Dion and I put together yesterday, which was not only a lot of fun, but super informative. And honestly, I have a lot of fun because I love seeing how both of you guys do it.
Yeah.
I love seeing how other guys do what I do and, always there to pick up a thing here and a thing there. Yeah. But in this particular case, we're talking about value-added investing, which is basically looking at a property and not necessarily buying it for appreciation. Because I'm not going to buy this building and say, hey, in 5 years, it's going to be worth $300,000 more. That is a fool's errand. Do not do that. That is gambling.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what's going to happen in the economy, that market, that building. You have no idea what any of that stuff is going to happen. Now, that being said, there is the opportunity to do value-added investing. And the value-added investing part really comes down to understanding the building and the cost of the building now, understanding where rents are, but this is where you have to have done your homework. You have to know what you're going to get for rents on the upside, because we found a property that the rents right now only justify the selling price of about $600,000.
Okay.
The issue is that this building can probably carry rents because this person has owned the building for over 20 years. And before that, the person owned it for 30. So I doubt they've spent a whole lot of time assessing and evaluating the rental market recently.
Yeah.
And so where that basically puts us is that right now basically the pricing, it still actually makes money, still gives you good enough debt coverage at 1.2 or 1.25. So still gives enough debt coverage, but at about $600,000, the rents are about $5,500 and then expenses and things like that. So it will make some money. But the upside there is that these rents on these units that all have either month to months or expiring leases within the next 6 months, that these rents can easily go from $6,000 a month to $9,000 a month.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things that are really subtle in this opportunity. And I do this all the time. I would say probably 30% of my portfolio is I walked into a footprint and I found how better to use that footprint, right? In my world, there's only 3 things that drive rent, and I'll go reverse order. One is parking, right? Is it street parking, covered carport, or garage? Yep. And as you might suspect, as you go up that ladder, you actually get rent for that. Number 2 is bathrooms. Even a half bath generally gets me more. If it's a second full bath, potentially hundreds of dollars more. But the big one is bedrooms. And that's why when you walk into a square footage, let's say that's 1,200 square feet and it's listed as a 2-bedroom, you better be looking around for where the hell is the 3rd bedroom. It doesn't always work. I remember walking through a 1,400 square foot house one time and not being able to create a bedroom. It was so poorly put together. Yep. But 90% of the time, 80% of the time, I can walk into a 1,200 square foot 2-bedroom and go, that's where bedroom number 3 is going.
That's right.
It's a wall, a closet, and you have to obviously have a window for egress to get out in case of a fire. But it is really not that hard to do. And it's thousands of dollars, like 1,500, maybe 2,500, depending on how much. Well, today wood's expensive, but maybe it's $3,000 today, but it's a great ad, right? I get $250, 300, maybe 400, depending on where it's located for that extra bedroom.
Yeah, it's almost always less than a 12-month return on investment.
Oh, for
Almost
sure.
always, right? Very fast, because you'll want to run some outlets and things like that. And then there's a couple circuits, but again, all fairly small stuff. Like you were saying, you're less than $3,000 or $4,000 for sure on doing something like that. And again, you're adding $250 to $350 a month to the rent. The only caveat that there is that up here in New England, I don't know what it's like out in the West Coast, but here in New England, we have city water and sewer, but we also have a lot of areas that aren't close to downtown metropolitan areas that are on septic and leach fields and wells.
Sure.
Now, be very careful when looking at that, because in our state, I don't know about any others, but in our state, you can't add a bedroom unless your septic plan allows for you to add a bedroom. So you can add a room, and it can be, sometimes people use it as a bedroom, but you can't add the room and call it a bedroom on the house. If it's a 2-bed, 2-bath house, it's a 2-bed, 2-bath house. Even if you add another room, it's still a 2-bed, 2-bath house. You can use it differently, but the reason that they do that is because when you submit a septic design, it's based on the number of people, number of bedrooms that are going to occupy the property.
For sure.
And that's what they base it on. That's what your taxes are based on. And so just beware that if you aren't on water and sewer from the city, that is something that does change. The only thing that guys like us see when we're doing stuff, excuse me, in a downtown area, is that obviously our water sewer goes up because the usage is going to go up, because you're adding another person to it. However, it far outweighs, when you're getting that rent, that far outweighs the expense that you're going to have on the other side. I mean, it's negligible, the amount of additional expense you're going to have.
Yeah,
like
I love
it's
this.
Almost always less than a year payoff.
Yeah, I love the fact you called that out, because again, in California, I've never had to worry about a leach in septic system, at least in my market. I'm sure they're around California, but not where I buy. But yeah, it's definitely know the rules, right? Do your homework in your area. But the whole idea, right? If you can, and it's legal, right? Don't do anything that's not, turn a 2-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, or whatever. It's really, and again, that's really what Grant Cardone has done, just on a bigger scale, right? Is he's up leveling, he's adding to it so he can get increased rents. The increased rents increasingly fall to the bottom line. The NOI gets bigger, the NOI and the cap rate value, and bingo, he bought it for 14. Now it's worth 24.
That's right.
He's just doing it with more zeros. But again, in today's market, as we've said many times, there's almost too many people looking at value add. But if you can find one, right? Because I run the numbers really quickly on just what you've said. You're going to buy it for 6. If rents truly get to 9, just using the same cap rate, you're probably at $1 million valuation.
Exactly. Yep. And so we actually, one of the things is, because I know that this actually won't get published in time for them to be able to react, just in case they're watching. We're actually doing a 605 with a $5,500 escalator all the way up to 655 or 654.5. So because ran all the numbers, and I still have,
you're like, coverage. I want this deal.
Naughty. It's the wrong thing to do. This is the wrong thing, but it's value add, because, I'm willing to roll the dice. And this is such an iconic property. I don't care about having my name on a building, but I care when an iconic building that hasn't been sold in open market for over 50 years. That's something that I want to own. There's only 8 buildings in this stretch of the city. There's only 8 landlords. That's it. Only 8 guys get to own something on this stretch. And this is right where police department, city hall, this is the center of this
spot.
City. This is the center of the city. Yeah. And so
I'm excited. When do you hear? Is it today?
So we'll talk a little bit about the offer, because I talked a little bit about the structure. So I gave them till 8 p.m. tonight. I just signed it in between our segments. Yeah. Nice. Because we just had to do the price revision. But we signed the escalator clause. So for those of you who don't know what an escalator clause is, you can basically tell your broker to put an escalator clause in there, which says, I'm willing to pay 605 to start, but any other offer that comes in before my deadline, which is 8 p.m. tonight, you can raise my offer $5,500 at a time. So if they come in, let's say at 615, you can raise it 2 sections at 5,500, which would bring my offer to 616.
There you go.
If they get one at 625, they can raise it 4 units, which would bring me to 667 or 627.5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to do, is because we don't want to overpay, but we're happy to pay more than almost anyone else, I think.
Yeah, that's well, I'm going to be looking at my phone about 5 o'clock Pacific time to see if you got
it. You and me both. I already told my agent, I was like, listen, you watch The Office, you know, Dwight Schrute calls his broker and says, go get it for me. This is your moment. Go get this for me. I want this building. Go get me this building. And he's like, man, you really want this building? I go, yes, but the selling.
Yeah. What was your first clue?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, so get this. So I'm walking the building yesterday and I said to the agent, I go, so just curious, what made you list it for 6?
Yeah.
He goes, we want to start out at that number.
What?
That was what his answer was. Yeah, and so I literally called my agent when we left and I said, how embarrassing. Like, give me a reason. Like, why not 7? Why not? Because literally, Mike, what I was thinking was, I wasn't attacking his price at all. And he got defensive.
Yeah.
I was literally asking because I thought he was underpriced.
He did not hear it that way.
No, he heard it as, wow, you're just another dumb broker, which 99% of the time I'm saying in my head anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Not this time.
Exactly, but it wasn't this time. Exactly. So Mike, I will definitely keep you in the loop, because like I said, this is a value add deal. Do not be a new investor and do this stuff. You need to really understand your market. Here's the whole reason I can do this. I know my market cold. I know it inside and out, upways and sideways. I know for a fact, with minor changes to this footprint inside, which is just adding bedrooms, 20-foot ceilings, I can just add a 10 by, a 14 by 14 box with a 10-foot ceiling in it. And I still have a ton of space on top. I'm going to make a little loft space on top with just like bean bags and a hangout area on top of each of those boxes. It's just going to be like the coolest, most fun place to live. And yeah, it's going to mean that unit can triple rent. Triple. It's a 2,200 square foot 1-bedroom.
That's insane. That let's just say we don't build those anymore.
Yeah.
Those are not being designed 2,200 square feet, 1
with
bedroom.
Good reason. Yeah.
That almost hurts my head.
Yeah. I mean, think about that.
That's painful.
That's massive. Like the house that we sold before we moved into this one, that house was only like 2,500 square feet. We're like 300 square feet bigger. It was 4 bedrooms with an office and 2 living rooms. And I'm like,
2,200 in 1 bedroom. Jesus.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is like in these buildings, the windows are 4 feet across and they're 12 feet tall.
Wow. It's gotta be gorgeous.
It's just beautiful. Like the view out the front is of the downtown. The view out the back is of the mill and of the river.
Oh,
like
sweet.
Just a cool place. So yeah, hopefully my willingness to overpay and really have to do the math and work hard on figuring out what is the real opportunity here within the next 6 to 12 months, because we don't have to worry about that up front on this particular deal, because it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful to some folks. Again, do not do this. This is a expert's move. So if you're an expert, obviously you've probably already done this before, but if you aren't, just think about this. This is where you can get to when you can start projecting really how, the rents and what changes you can make and how much those changes are going to cost, and then what return on capital you're going to get there. That's a level 5 type of thing.
There you go.
But something to consider. So Mike, anything else on this thought?
I actually love this conversation because, again, I believe multifamily is going to crack in a couple of years.
Yep.
And I am licking my chops to find opportunities, because again, what will happen in multifamily is people who overpaid, they will limp for a while until their reset period. And then, we will go into that. And then folks, I think at 4:00 on my channel, we are doing the worst and best deal we've ever done.
Yeah. Nice. That was
fun. That was fun. And pay attention. There's a multifamily deal in there that made somebody $1 million. So pay attention for that one.
We let Mike go last just because we knew he was going to win. We were just like, Dion did his and I was like, man, I think I lost. And then as I talked through my deal, I was like, no, I think I won the worst deal. That was horrible. But yeah, Mike, that was just an awesome segment with Dion. I'm looking forward to that being out there. That'll be a lot of fun. Mike, where can everybody find you, my man?
Go to Google search bar and type in one rental at a time. I should pop up in lots of places.
Yeah, you guys are totally missing out if you're not subscribed to his channel, and help the dude out. He's like just shy of 20,000.
I know. It's like,
I mean, honest to God. And you can be a triple threat. You can help him get to 20,000. You can write a 5-star book review, and you can actually participate and jump onto Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Because he's got all those things. He's readily available. I mean, I see him too much this way anyway all week long. So, and I still watch enough of the stuff. Like literally, thank God it was my wife's turn last night with my son in the sleep regression. God bless her. It was her turn. But
Nice.
yeah, so I got some good YouTube time in last night with that.
Yeah, I did a
surprise
live
10
stream.
PM
I don't yeah, I don't normally go in the evening. I do my stuff in the morning and I'm done. But yeah, yesterday was an important day.
Yeah, I was like, look at this, Mr. Saucy Pants. Look at that. That's awesome. All right. So yeah, guys, subscribe, watch our stuff. We put a lot of time and effort and energy into this. And quite frankly, we spend hours every single day going through the data to just give you these few segments a day to make sure that, you know, we're kind of showing you where the fish are. So again, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you check out Mike over at One Rental at a Time. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you.